Okay, sweet. How's it going, guys?
Good.
Nice, nice. Thanks for joining. Thanks for
Good
joining.
morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Was it morning for you?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. Yeah. Let's see, get a few more people joining. I know we had Joseph said he wanted to join as well. Let me quickly. Okay, got some more people coming in. Cool. How's it going, Joseph? Yeah, I think you're muted there.
Turn off camera.
Oh, hello. How are you?
Yeah. Nice one. Yeah, doing good, man. How about yourself?
Doing pretty well.
Awesome. Alright, cool. Got some more people coming in. Nice. How's it going, Pascal? Yeah, we had a nice chat before. I think it's one of my first calls that I had with Pascal. He's over in I think somewhere in Canada. No, I don't think it's Toronto though. But yeah. All right, sweet. So yeah, we can pretty much get started. So yeah, the point of this kind of meeting is kind of like a hangout, a nice little Q&A as well. We got someone else coming in. Yeah, hey, how's it going, Ethan? So yeah, I'm just doing a quick little intro. So yeah, obviously with 3D printing, we're just doing the main thing is to obviously make money with 3D printing. So that's the key. I'm going to do a Q&A to obviously answer people's questions, kind of gauge on like how people start with 3D printing and kind of what kind of goals they have to make money with 3D printing also. Yeah, so I guess I can get started in terms of how I got started with 3D printing. So my kind of introduction was in terms of making a blog with 3D printing. So I kind of was doing research. I wanted to make a blog about something, but I wasn't too sure what topic. So I kind of stumbled across 3D printing, found it very interesting, and then ended up just writing a bunch of content around it. Now I've got like over 900 articles. I've got like over 20 3D printers right now, which is kind of crazy. And yeah, I'll probably get some more. And yeah, that's kind of like my intro. So yeah. Hey, how's it going, Rod? Nice to see you here, man. Yeah. Okay, so I guess we can do some introductions if you guys want to start to introduce yourself so we can get like a nice little conversation going. Should we start off with Eric?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I live, as you can see, I'm from South Australia, and I use a Creality CR10S Pro version 2, and that was my second 3D printer. The first one was basically a home-built one that I bought from someone, um, but this Creality one is magic. So.
Good stuff, good stuff. Okay, Andre, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi guys, Andre Rademacher here. I'm from South Africa. And I'm sitting in New Zealand at the moment. So Mike, I've been very quiet because I've been in New Zealand for a holiday with my daughter. So yeah, I've got a Creality Ender V2, my first one. It's really been an exciting journey for me to look at the possibilities that 3D printing has. But concerned about the quality of the actual print itself. There's a lot of post work, and all of us, I suppose, know that. And that makes me wonder about the amount of work you need to put in to get a model to a point where you can actually sell it. So, but very excited about the endless world that 3D opens for me.
Very
Thanks, Mike.
nice. Yeah, agreed. Um, yeah, Moose, do you want to introduce yourself if you have a microphone?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Great. Well, I'm glad to be here and nice to meet you guys. I got into the 3D printer art recently. Actually bought two Ender 3s back in 2022 or 21. Then I had a health event and they stayed in boxes until about 3 or 4 months ago. So I mothballed my whole uh, activity that way. And so I pulled them out of the box, put them together, made a couple prints, and promptly went out and bought a bamboo A1 with the AMS, and then I gave the enders to the local library uh, maker lab. Uh, I am more of an appliance guy than I'm a 65 Volkswagen mechanic kind of guy. So yeah, that's my story so far. I have like many of my other hobbies, I dive in when I do get interested in. So I have played with my printer pretty much 20 hours a day for the time I've had it so far. I haven't made much, but I sure have made a nice little setup for myself at least. And I look forward to learning here because I have lots of time at this point, and I would love to be able to see if I can parlay my uh, curiosity into profit if possible.
Very
So
nice.
yeah, that's my story.
Yeah, sounds good, man. All right. Yeah, Joseph, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. So my name's Joseph. I'm here in Georgia, USA. I've been 3D printing for the last 4 years and started with the Lulzbot Task 6. It was a pretty old machine. I got it used from a family member of mine who didn't want it, so I took it in, fixed it up, heavily modded it to have remote monitoring, Octoprint, all those sort of stuff. And about 3 years ago, then I decided to upgrade and get a Prusa Mark III S Plus. Amazing machine, by the way. I love Prusa, high premium quality. That thing can last you a while. I still have it right next to me. Then I decided to heavily mod it and add some automation kits from 3DQ, Canadian company, adding a VA APR bed, which is basically a variable adhesion bed for auto ejection and for automated part release. Then after that, I worked on adding a cold swap nozzle from from E3D called the Revo. And yeah, I mean, I've been doing this for a little while. I've sold some stuff in my school, about $300 to $400 worth of stuff. I mean, this is in probably like a year. And as of the moment, I'm also on school. I'm trying to help college students make their first $500 a month by using 3D printing. So that's me.
Sounds good. Yeah, my order kind of changed with the people, so I think we got Pascal next.
Yep, so I've been 3D printing for about 3 or 4 years now. First had an Ender 3V2, which was horrible, so I sold it. Then I got a Prusa, an MK3. That was way better, which I assembled myself, which is actually very good. So then you could actually learn how everything works, the hot end and the bedding and so on and so on. And then after a year or so of using it, I sold that. I bought a Bamboo P1P, which since ironically in Canada here you can flip for actually more money. So I flipped a couple of those, and now I'm running a P1P and a P1S almost 24/7. Both of them running 24/7.
Very nice. Good stuff.
Yes. Since May about, I've sold about $2,000 maybe. Yeah.
Wow. Awesome.
Sell all kinds of stuff. I sell. Well, now I'm going to do a couple of Christmas events. So I have Christmas houses that are built. I have over 100 done, and I also do a lot of Hot Wheel stuff. I attend the car shows, and one of my buddies sells Hot Wheels, so I bump in with him, and I sell Hot Wheel stands, small car lifts, all sorts of stuff. I sell those about every Saturday. Yep.
Awesome. That's good stuff. Should we do Robert next? If you want to introduce yourself real quick. I think you're currently unmuted, Robert Jacobson. Okay, if we don't get an answer, we can move on to, let's see who's next. I have to look down the list. So we can introduce Rod. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Uh, sure. Hi, everybody. Good to meet you. Um, I started my 3D printing journey about 13 years ago, maybe 14, because I was a technology integration specialist for a school district. So my job was to keep up with the latest technology and introduce it into the school classrooms. So I've spent all that time really teaching kids and students and teachers how to use their 3D printer. I come from an art background. I was a commercial and graphic artist, and then moved on to fine art. And then when I found the job for the technology, I jumped at that because I'm a big tech person. So yeah, I've got five Affinia, and I've got one Elegoo Jupiter, and I've got an Elegoo Mars, and a Longer Orange, and a Cerambot, which is my ceramic one. So that prints ceramic, and it can print food too. Um, and then one of the projects we had, it was interesting. Pascal mentioned building your own. One of the projects we did for the school was we used the 3D printers we had to print the parts to make a 3D printer. So that was kind of fun. um, and it tells you how, and it actually did kind of give the kids a better idea of how long it takes to print something like that. So, but as it goes now, I tend to generally move in the direction of art because I retired from that job last year, and I've been focusing on getting back to fine art with 3D printing. I'm converting most of my paintings into a 3D print.
Yeah, I've seen some of your work in the communities. Very impressive stuff. Yeah. Okay, let me
Well,
see.
thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Vanita, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello, Mike and everyone. Uh, I started out 3D printing like very soon, like 2 months ago. And before that, me and my husband went into woodworking. And we still do some woodwork, but we have been selling our 3D printed work at a local farmer's market. And we've gotten a lot of repeat customers. And some of the prints that I use are some commercial licensed ones, but some of them are my own designs. And um, what else I was going to say? Oh yeah, I just started doing like a 3D course where I start doing 3D modeling. So I'm gonna go deeper, and I have my own online website that I've put stuff on, and I've had some coworkers too that are requesting more stuff. So people are really loving it. But I must say, the things that I am printing is things that are useful, like cell phone holders and PS5 and Xbox controller holders. So I've been doing useful things, and people have really been liking them. Even like I made some beard combs out of PETG, and people have been loving them. So, and most of like the highest thing that I sell most stuff for is like $20 to $25, and they have been willing to pay full price. So thanks, Max.
That's awesome. Very nice, very nice. And yeah, I'm surprised because yeah, I remember you said you got the bamboo lab, right? I recommended that one
Yeah,
to you, and then you said you got that.
right. And I have another one now. So
Oh wow, impressive. Okay, okay. All right, so we can move on to Jim. Have you introduced yourself, Jim Hilton?
No, I haven't yet. But I'm a 75-year-old. I programmed for 25 years, had a textile mill that I built their network. I wrote their software, I built their computers, built the servers, and did everything. so custom software, and I'm trying to translate that into my 3D printing and be able to do firmware, etc. I'm not printing for profit at this point in time, but I'm doing my own designs, trying to make things that are, necessary and solve problems.
Very nice. Okay, that's interesting how you can like translate that into 3D printing.
Well, hopefully it will. The concepts are the same. It's just a different way of doing it.
Okay, got it. And is there anyone else that hasn't introduced themselves? I think Brandon.
Oh yeah. So my name is Brandon. I'm a sophomore in high school right now. I have one 3D printer. It's an Ender 3 Pro. Having a lot of problems with that though. So I'm hoping to upgrade to the Bamboo Lab A1 Mini as soon as I can.
Very nice. Yeah, I remember you mentioning how you had the blue screen of death, right, in the Ender. Another visitor. Yeah. So yeah, if you can't get that fixed, definitely a Bamboo Lab would be a good, solid choice. Let's get some prints in.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. It's been a pain in the butt recently.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so in terms of like moving on to a different topic, so I know obviously a few people have sold their first 3D prints. I did like a poll in a group before, and it turns out that like a lot of people haven't actually sold their first 3D prints. So that's kind of one of the things I want to like look more into. So for the people who have sold 3D prints, do you have like any kind of tips that you'd share for somebody like new who hasn't sold a 3D print?
So I would say just try to be niche. I mean, obviously there is like a range of how niche you want to go, but if you make stuff that is generalized and people can buy off of Amazon, that's not going to really help you. So try to pick a good niche and try to stick with it. And yeah, I mean, pick an audience, obviously. Just let's just say that you go, let's just say that you go to a church and you know someone that, or you know, some people have similar problems to say, yeah, you know, maybe they have a phone or, man, it just really depends. Obviously, it just depends on the audience and the niche, but just pick one and stick with it.
Yeah, do you have like any niches that you've kind of picked with 3D printing to sell?
I originally focused on fidgets, making my own, and also getting some commercial licenses for some that are already like pretty well sold. And I would be selling those at school, and those things would be selling quick. Same thing with the the Cinder dragons. Those things were
Yeah.
selling like butter. I mean, especially when you have a special material. Like I did rainbow material, and it looks really, really nice. If you do so I guess it also depends on material for if it's aesthetics or if it's functional. But if it's functional, then you don't really have to worry too much on aesthetics. But it really depends on your audience and your niche.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like because I've done a lot of reading about success stories. That's one of the main things I've been doing, so I can get like more information about like what works. And every time you get stories about like people selling in person, especially with like craft fairs and different markets, they're always talking about how dragons sell so quickly, especially like the multicolor ones. So that's the like one that I recommend for a lot of people to do, you know, to make sales. And I was wondering,
I can.
Yeah, go. No, go. No, you can go ahead. Yeah, did you wanna? Yeah, you can go ahead with what he's gonna say, Joseph.
Oh, I was about to say that if you want, I can send a quick link to a picture, just an example of a dragon that's very colorful, or I could send a link of my introduction in your community just for people to have an idea of what I'm talking about.
Oh, like a picture of the dragon.
Because I put mine in my introduction post as well. Did I not?
I remember seeing something. I can't remember exactly what post it was, but yeah, it's a very, very nice dragon, for sure.
And to follow up on Joseph, first time I talked with Mike, I was telling him that I don't sell dragons. So he convinced me to sell those dragons, and I printed 3, and both of the 3 sold in the first hour. So they do work. Get them printed, sell them.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
May I speak?
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
Go ahead.
it piques my curiosity. You guys are talking about selling your projects in person, and I am more inclined to think that I can do better online, like with Etsy or some of the other niche online selling sites. And I think that it's great that you guys are selling like crazy uh, when you're in person. I don't have that luxury where I live. Uh, there's, I mean, I live in New York State, okay, and I actually live in the city where the state fair happens every year, and it's a huge event. It's like, over 1 million people are there over 8 or 9 days. So it's not like culturally it's impossible. It's just physical access to a place where you can put up a card table and and actually show your wares. So from my point of view, I think my success will be finding a place to sell my product online, and of course that means all of the photography equipment and learning how to set up that stuff is what really intrigues me, and I think where I could probably make a couple bucks. So that's for my where I'm coming from. I'm super happy to hear that you guys are selling your stuff. I wonder how well dragons would sell on Etsy though. I'm wondering if there's like 5,000 people just like us already selling dragons on Etsy. And
Yeah,
even
definitely.
one or two a week would probably be. But then you need to worry about commission and packaging and shipping and all of that. Then it gets into the weeds that way. And so there's my uh, focus, I think, for me.
Yeah. So have you ever sold like any 3D prints online yet, or is it still like a new
No,
venture?
no, this is all a fever dream at this point. As
Okay.
I explained, I wanted to get into this 3 or 4 years ago. I had cancer. I had to go through treatment. I was laid out for almost a year. And so all the stuff I bought initially to get started with stayed in boxes until, like I say, maybe June or May, end of May. And I quickly realized that if I were going to get serious with this, uh, the Enders are a great first printer, but they're a 4 year old or 5 year old technology, and the technology is advancing so rapidly that uh, I I am the kind of guy I don't want to spend 3 hours tramming a bed and 1 hour print for every hour printing. I want to print products, and so that's my goal, and that's why I got rid of him right away. I realized right away that that was going to be problematic if I wanted to do anything in production. So then I got the A1 and I said, yeah, I think I could see my apartment turning into, uh, you know, a shop really quickly. So yeah, that the kid there that you had that you interviewed, who started out with one printer and then it ended up running 3 or 4 24 hours a day, and he's still in high school and he's selling stuff and making $1,000 a week. uh, that's just thrilling to me. I almost can't get my head around it that people will I guess you need the audience obviously, but people are selling dragons and they're selling toys basically. And I thought that when I got into 3D printing, I'd be more inclined to use it for functional parts. And I quickly learned that for every functional part, there's probably 100 toys that you see online with other people. And of course, I'm learning now. I'm learning very slowly. I must admit, I'm learning CAD, and I'm learning how to use the slicer more effectively. All that stuff is like peeling an onion. You just it takes forever, and until you encounter a situation. But basically, you aren't learning until you need to learn. Book learning is just not, for me anyway, is hard. So, but if I have to modify a model, for instance, somebody else's artwork is almost perfect, and so now I need to put it into a 3D program or a CAD program, or if it's something simple enough to do in the slicer. These are all things, and I'm absorbing like a sponge on YouTube. I just YouTube after YouTube after YouTube of how this is how you do these things. But of course, not using it. If you're not actually using it, kind of goes in one ear and out the other. For me, I'm old, so I don't learn. I'm not absorbing, probably like Brandon might. You know what I'm saying. So there's that. Uh, so that's where I'm at. That's what I'm curious about. And Vernita was making comments. I've seen her work. It's beautiful stuff. Rod's work, beautiful stuff. I hope to achieve that level of patience, I guess, for want of a better way to put it. It all fascinates me. So please share your thoughts, you guys.
Yeah, solid. Yeah, what do you guys think? Anyone want to mention or comment?
Well, you see,
I will
Moose,
say. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
sorry, Joseph. Yeah,
No,
so
go
you
ahead.
see,
Go ahead.
Joseph, I live back in Quebec, and I sell my stuff in BC, which is about 5,000 kilometers away. You'd have to transfer that into miles, but it's pretty damn far away. And I just posted on Facebook, and then one post gets reposted, and then I hop onto a group that has to do with Hot Wheels, and then he's interested, buys it from Saskatchewan, gives me an order. That's how I fulfill my stuff. You don't necessarily to be in person, but Etsy, I feel like you'd be lost in an ocean of too many stuff, man. I don't even know where to start looking on Etsy. There's so much stuff. So you probably go niche and then from there branch out. That's what I'm thinking. Once you find a particular domain that you really like, build stuff or design stuff or start printing stuff if you have the commercial license, and then just post it and sales will come eventually. And then one person will be happy, they'll sell to someone else, and then Hot Wheels, at least Hot Wheels is like that. It's a very small community. And then when one person likes it, well, he talks about it on the group or he talks about it up to his friends, and then they give you an order, and then they give you a second order, and so on and so on. So it's just a question of starting, and Facebook or Instagram or whatever the platform you're using is probably the best one. Website is good, but I don't get a whole lot of traffic on the website. So everything that I put on my website, I've also put on Facebook, which also leads to eventually a sell. So you don't necessarily need to be in person. Just start posting. That's my probably the best suggestion I can give you.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, definitely. Yeah, well, and Andre, did you want to say something?
Yeah, guys, I just listening to the conversation, and thanks, Mike. This is an ideal way to communicate about the 3D. I'm just listening and I'm wondering, maybe a lot of the problems that I've been encountering is because of the 3D printed type that I've got. And I'm wondering now, and Pascal, you mentioned the 3D Ender. I'm just wondering, what is the best solution? Because to move away from the Ender 3 to what device? Because I think part of the solution is to have a device that actually gives you a good quality print from at the beginning, and not with the Ender. I'm battling, as I say, I print something and it then there's a lot of rework that I have to do. So it's really for me a question of having the right printer, and then obviously having the right niche market to go to. So I'm just wondering, what would be the best way to, or best new printer to go to from an Ender? Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, so as I was saying, I went from an Ender to a Prusa. Prusa, the print quality was exceptional, but the speed wasn't there. I needed speed because I print so much stuff. So that's why I sold my Prusa, which then I hopped onto a bamboo. I didn't get the high end one. I didn't get the X1C because I couldn't justify the price difference. The X1C seems to offer too many types of materials that I'll be printing. I mostly print ABS, PETG, and PLA. So those are the three. So that's why I got the P1P first, which is open, and then I got the P1S for printing ABS afterwards, which is all closed. But that's the best one. I'll give you the best quality and the best speed also. If you guys want to see it, I should go downstairs. I just finished a huge print. I don't know if you guys know him, but he's FULV. He's very popular on Facebook. He's very popular on Patreon. He probably has about 5 or 6 prints done, but they are huge and they are full of details. And this is where I think Andre, you'll like the quality of the bamboo. So give me 2 seconds. You guys can continue talking. I'll
Thank,
have you in my ear. I'll go
Yeah.
and get the figurines.
thank,
You'll see the quality.
thanks, Pascal. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, Joseph, do you want to say something?
Sure. I would say in terms of what printer you should decide. Obviously, this depends on what volume what are you planning to print off of it. If you're planning to print something huge, obviously you're going to have to find a printer that has a bigger print bed. So, for example, like the Bamboo Lab, the Mark IV, they're pretty. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're both good. Bamboo Lab is faster than the Prusa Mark IV-S as of the moment. Obviously, I will say Prusa. What I do like about them is their open source. Their open source features. It's what's weird is that actually Bamboo took the software of Prusa. So yeah, Bamboo took Prusa's slicer, which was open source, and just modified it to make it their own. Which is nothing wrong with that. But I'm saying is, at least for me, I mean, Prusa, it's just the quality, the customer support is amazing. So yeah, I mean, it just really just depends on what you're deciding to print, what in terms of the size, the material, and speed. Really, those are the three things.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. And Brandon, did you want to say something?
Yeah. So I remember somewhere you were talking about one sec. Oh wait, so where you would sell this. And one thing that I found very good is like go to your friends and just something that they want printed. You don't even have to like charge them a whole lot of money. That's what I've done. I've gotten out of a couple bets by printing a fishing lure for my friend, and I found that's a really good start. So then I get the practice of making sure I got a quality print for my friend on time, but at the same time they know that I'm learning the business, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, definitely. Great idea. Yeah. And Jim, did you want to say something?
I'm going to change subject a little bit. Take what you already know. You're probably, farther on the life than you realize. And I grew up in the jewelry industry. My brother and I have been doing a lot of jewelry design. He uses SLA for printing, so it's much, more um, dynamic and it gives you a better print quality. But we design rings and jewelry and whatnot. But being that we're already jewelers, we know the proper way to construct these things. Whereas when somebody else comes in and tries to do it, they don't understand what the structure should be. So they end up making something that won't last. It's pretty, but it breaks easy, etc. So take something you already know and expand on that. I think that's the fastest and easiest way to get yourself going.
It's a great point. Great point. Yeah, Rod, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I was going to mention you were talking about time that it takes to print. One thing I would mention, and I mentioned to my students, is if you can find a niche that will allow you to use resin printers, you'll save a lot of time because a resin printer, the bed can be filled with as many things as you can fit on it, and it will only take as long to print all of them as it will the tallest piece.
Great point. Great point.
You can do 30 things at the same size, just at the same time it would take you to print the one.
Yeah.
So that's an advantage to the resin. And also, as far as the getting things sold, I've found that what you want to do is you want to try and tell everybody you can that you're a 3D printer guy. I've got shirts that say, I've got one that says, never underestimate an old man with a 3D printer. Okay. I've got one that says, check out my ABS abs. You know, you get people who ask you these things. and once you get known as the 3D printer guy, then people will come to you if they get an idea of something they might want.
Very good point. Do you have like some 3D prints that you kind of take with you regularly to show people that you 3D print, Rod? Yeah, Rod.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, basically, do you like showcase any 3D prints like to people, or do you bring any 3D prints along with you, like to show people? Like,
Nah, yeah, actually I do. And I do it even, I'll even go into, people will be in a convenience store checking me out, and they'll say, wow, it's an interesting shirt. I'll say, yeah, I do this 3D printing all the time. Got a couple in the cards, like to see them, that kind of thing.
okay,
And,
great idea.
It's just basically, blowing your own horn if you're comfortable with that.
You just need to listen basically to what people say. I don't know if you guys know this company. It's called Sany, SANY. It's a excavation company. They build all sorts of machinery. They're actually very huge in pretty much everywhere in the world except North America. North America, it's mostly cat and deer. But I also do stuff for Sany directly, the dealership. They have a box where they put the tools in there, but it's sort of weirdly located because the battery is sort of hidden. So what I do is I actually do a tray. I don't have a picture with me, but I do a tray where they remove the toolbox and we take the battery from that's underneath the seat. We relocate it to underneath the engine compartment, and I need the little step there to move the battery upwards because or else the cables are too short. But if it weren't for 3D printing, nobody would ever do that. So if ever you just need to listen basically, and then come up with ideas, and then from there you design it, develop it, and yeah, I don't think there's obviously always a niche, but mostly listening to people. And if you don't know what to do, well, you just try one thing or try another. Because if you would have told me 6 years ago that I'd be inside a dealership of a construction company, construction dealership, I'd never believe you. It's yeah. Just to show you here, Andre, what I was talking about. I don't know if I can pull this up. This is just one of the parts.
Okay, yeah, I see it. Yeah,
It's pretty small, but the details are pretty remarkable.
very good. Yeah, yeah.
I have, I don't know, this goes on top of the house.
Sure. Yeah.
Wow.
Details, and that's only printed in 0.16. It's not even printed in 0.12, so 0.12 would be even better. You can't see any lines. The ironing is perfect.
Very nice.
If I give you another one, see this is the roof.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can zoom in. Yeah, you can see all the shingles.
Yeah. Yo.
And there's no post processing. It's done. I took it off the bed, put it inside the box, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. You see, that's what I need. Yeah, that's what I need. Yo.
Wow. That's very nice.
Yeah, the ironing is perfect. When you put your finger over it, you can't see any lines.
Yeah.
It's all smooth. It's all perfect. Gosh, I love these printers. They just they're working machines. That's what they are. They just pump out prints and that's it.
No tramming. No tramming, no bed leveling, all that stuff, right?
Now it's all automatic. You hit send and then forget it. Sometimes I actually do forget the prints when my prints take 15 or 16 hours. And it's actually my phone that reminds me because I get the notification because the print's done. And then I send my wife downstairs. She removes it from the bed. And then I just send another one from my phone directly. So it's hassle free. I love it. I really do love it.
Get the whole family involved.
Yeah, exactly. Get her working.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, Rod, did you want to say something?
I just wanted to point out, it might sound odd to point these things out to people, like in the stores or places that you see that they mention your shirt. But the other day, well, it was a little while ago, I went into the general store and the guy there was like, can you 3D print some cheese? Yeah, yes, because he says what happens is when he puts his cheese out for display on the deli, um, it dries out and he can't sell it. So he had me make him a wedge of cheese. And I every time I go in there, they say, people come up and they ask if that's the real thing. So yeah, yeah, got kind of famous for the cheese guy.
But did you design it yourself?
Yeah, I actually designed it. I got the initial wedge shape out of Tinkercad, and then brought it into Blender and remeshed it so that I could go into sculpt mode and just give it the cheese look. And then I had to paint it to look just like cheese. But since I was a professional artist for so many years, I'm good with that kind of thing. So yeah, it was pretty easy.
Very nice, very nice. That's cool. Oh yeah, I remember you did the texture thing, right? Did you do a texture with the cheese as well? You can change like the texture and have like a specific type, like a custom texture, right?
Yeah, yeah. One of the things I taught the students to do is when they were doing things like maybe you have something that's a wood print, you want it to look like wood, you go into Google search and you find a wood texture that's an SVG, and then you import that into Tinkercad and turn it into a hole and then just nudge it down into the piece and take that bit away, and then you've got a wood grain or cobblestone or pebbles or whatever you want.
Yeah, I remember you. I think you had the presentation that you showed me, which is very cool. So yeah, I know Vanita, you work with wood, so that would be a very good like thing for you to try and implement.
Yeah, I would love to know how to do that.
Yeah,
Uh,
maybe
okay, so I'll put up a tutorial on the community page if you like.
Please, yes, please.
I'm also okay. Yeah, I'll do that. I'm also working up a tutorial on how to print jewelry that's designed from your own voice. You record your voice, and then you take the waveform into a 3D program and create. Well, you'll see. I'll put it up, and you'll see the example. But that's pretty popular too. It's not just voice. I've had women come in and they have the ultrasound for their babies and ask for a print that they can wear that's unique to them. That's the nice thing about it is everybody's voice is different. So whatever you're saying, it's going to look different than anybody else's.
Rob, you and I need to be friends. I need to learn all this stuff.
yeah, he's impressive, man. That's like just the
I'm
start of
sorry, I
what he
didn't hear
knows.
you.
I said you and I need to be friends. I need to learn everything you know.
Okay, well, yeah, we're good with that. I have a Facebook page where you can keep up with what I'm doing right along. I don't really use it as a social media thing. I basically use it as a gallery. Everybody that's a friend goes and looks at those.
Okay, I'll look you up. It's under your name.
Yeah, Rod, maybe if you have a link, you can put it in the chat, um, and then yeah, you can access that if you have like the URL. But yeah, he's posted a lot of his like creations, his paintings, his 3D prints on in the school community. So you'll see some of that if you check that up. So yeah, it's very impressive stuff.
Yeah, let me throw up a link here. I'll get it. It's actually a slide presentation of all of my not all of my 3D prints by any means, but a lot of them, and my original acrylic and oil paintings, and pen and ink work, and all that stuff. So, and one thing that might be interesting, that might be fun for you guys, is I worked for a thing called the Celebrity Train, and what that was is we took an HO train, and on it was a boxcar with the boxcar door in the middle. There's two panels. So on the one panel, I would paint the image of the person, and on the other side, they would sign it. So we had a lot of them. We had presidents, we had actors, all kinds of things. So you'll see that on the website. There's some examples of that too.
Very nice, very
Is this your
nice.
page, Rob?
That looks like it would be.
Yep, that's the one.
Nice.
There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah.
Well done.
All right, that's good stuff. Okay, so we had a few Q&A kind of questions that people asked. So I'll put it in a chat, and then we can like kind of answer it together. So the first question is it better to create a product and hope to find a market for your product, or to create a product to meet a known need? So any opinions on that?
It just depends on the product. I mean, if it's something that, like, if you're trying to fix something in your car that's very specific, or if you know, like, let's just say you know your Honda Accord has an issue, or there's like a piece of plastic that fell off, then you're probably not going to be able to find that. Maybe you might, but probably not. So in that case, you might have to create it. So then again, it just depends on your audience. So it depends on who you're trying to focus on. If you're focusing, let's just say you're a car mechanic and you see a lot of issues throughout the industry, then you look on, you just look up and see if that specific product or model is online. If it's not, then you just create it yourself. But in regards to finding the product, wait, hold on a second.
We'll find a market. So yeah, it says, is it better to create a product and hope to find a market for your product, or to create a product to meet a known need?
I think it's better off. So then I was off topic. So in that case, I think it's better off to focus on a known need. But it can go either way, in my opinion. It just really depends on what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah. Any other opinions on that one?
Well, if the product is already out there, then the chances are someone else already selling it are pretty high. But if you make your own stuff to a particular niche, same as Joseph was saying, then you're probably the only one making it, so you have the market advantage on that side.
Good point, good point. Yeah. I definitely agree with that. There's a lot of obviously products that no one's made before, especially if it's based on another product. I know, like, for example, like you have a new Apple product, and people are making things that connect the Apple product to some other kind of device. That kind of link could be a new product that no one's made before. Or if you have like two different niches and you want to connect those together, you can make a specific 3D print, like maybe, I don't know, like baking and I don't know, gardening maybe, and you have some kind of like connecting niche. It could be like a cookie cutter that has like the shape of a garden or like plant, something random like that, right? So there's obviously going to be a need or a desire for people that have both kind of like niches in mind, and they might like have interest and demand for that product. So yeah, connecting niches together is a very good way to like create new products that no one's really kind of made before. Okay, let me see the next question. So yeah, it's how about creating a product to fill a need that you have, and then see if there is a market for it, i.e. others with that same need. So it kind of covers the same topic. It's quite similar in terms of what you need. But yeah, with a lot of the success stories, I found that most people fell into niches that they were kind of already interested in, and they've solved the problem that they had, and then they marketed it out to other people, or they told their friends about it, and their friends were like, hey, let me get one of those as well. I think even with one story, he had made like a low poly planter, so kind of like a plant pot, and he made it in like this cool rainbow color, and all the neighbors kind of like driving around, walking around would see this rainbow planter, and they ended up like requesting one as well. They're asking him, oh, where'd you get this from? He said, I made it, and they all started to like start buying it. So we started to see the same rainbow planter all up the street, made a good business out of that. So that's definitely like a way to get some good sales in. You guys have any opinion about this? Okay, I'll move on to the next question. So This one's about online marketing. So the question is there a preference between marketing on eBay, Etsy, or other options for online sales? So I don't have too much experience with the online side of things. I know Etsy gets quite a bad rap for how many fees they have. eBay, a lot of people do sell on eBay, so that could be a good option. Yeah, well, Joseph, do you have an opinion on this one?
So I would say, I mean, I have a couple friends who actually, this is what they do. They do full-time 3D printing. They have 100 Ender 3 Pros, and they print all the time. What they mainly use is Instagram, and they have their own website. The Instagram redirects them to their website, and that would allows you to keep all the sales. So instead of putting your product on eBay or Etsy, that essentially allows you to keep 100% of the sales. But you need to also keep in mind you're going to have to advertise more. So if you keep on staying consistent, and this is what I've seen them do, if you stay consistent and post every single, I don't want to say every single day, but if you stay consistent, maybe twice a week, 3 times a week, and you focus on specific niches, there will be a point where someone will buy it.
Definitely, yeah. So it's kind of like content marketing, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah, I wrote a little bit about that. So yeah, that's definitely a good strategy. I see a lot of other people do that as well.
Pay a whole lot for advertising, because if you look at my stuff, I pay $0 in advertising. But what I do is I just post on groups of what I'm doing. So now Christmas is coming up, so I'm going to start posting on things that has to do with Christmas groups. When I do my Hot Wheels stuff, well, I go on Hot Wheels groups. So it's zero, and I get exactly the people I want to see my product. Because all the people who are subscribed to that group are basically people interested in that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, do you use is it Facebook groups or another like a website that you use?
Well, I have my own website. I have Instagram, which I never post on. I have TikTok, which I barely post, but I mostly post on Facebook and then link my whatever I'm posting to either Marketplace and then associate it to a group. So I don't know, Hot Wheels group, Quebec, or whatever the name is. And then anything that has to do with that theme, well, I post on that group.
So like you'd find the groups like on Facebook or something. Would it be Facebook platform?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, yeah, so that's a great idea. I've definitely heard about that, like different forums as well. Obviously they're going to be like very niche, so it's going to be related directly to what you're selling, so they're going to have like a lot of interest in that. So yeah, it's a great idea.
Yeah, 'cause sometimes Facebook, they'll say, oh, you can have 15,000 views for $5. Yeah, but out of the 15,000 views, how many people are really interested in what I'm selling? I don't just want views. I want people who want my product to see my product.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Moose. You have something to say?
Yeah, I'm on a free call, and it's telling me that it's going to kill me in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's for all of us.
Okay. What happens now? Can I just re-log on?
I'm actually not too sure. Do you guys know how that works?
It's gonna kick everyone off, and we would have to start a new one if we really wanted to.
Okay.
All right. I just want to give Andre a point or two, coming from just my very limited exposure to the Ender 3. Really seriously look at the Bamboo Lab printers. The A1 is the bigger bed, but the A1 Mini for the price is unbeatable. And you can buy the optional attachment where it will allow you to print 4 different spools of, say, different colors in one print. So for the nominal price of about $200, I think 250, somewhere in there, and then your 4-color add-on is another, I think, 150. You're not going to find a better printer on the market. You're going to go from tinkering all day to printing all day. And I tell people I think that the Bamboo is more of an appliance than it is anything else. It's like a microwave. You have your slicer, You import your model into it, you let it do its thing, and it sends to the printer. You don't have to even bring it over to the printer. You just press a button, and it uses your Wi-Fi and sends all the information over, and so it continuously communicates with the computer that way. Uh, I can't recommend it enough. And I think if you go on YouTube, you're going to see a whole shitload of videos about that printer, those printers, that whole brand of printers. The A1 Mini is the cheapest to the X1, which I think is $1,500. You know, and then there's price points all the way through. I wound up buying the A1. I think I could have, which is the same bed size as the Ender that you have. The A1 is the A1 Mini is a little smaller, uh, but you know, I go on YouTube and I was just looking. I couldn't find it while you guys were talking, but of course. But there's a guy that has a printer farm, and he sells his prints obviously, and he's got like a garage with about 15 A1 minis, and that's pretty much all he uses now. When he has to have a bigger print, he's got the bigger printers, but the vast majority of the stuff that he sells fit on the A1 mini printer bed, and he's just happy as a pig in shit. There's just nothing better on the market at the moment, and that's hands down. I hope that you find joy in what you do rather than frustration. And I think the bamboo stuff is your conduit to that. So good
Definitely.
luck on it.
Thanks, Moose. Thank you, man. Thanks.
Sure.
Okay, let me
If you want,
quickly.
just add me on Facebook, and if you have any questions, I'll just answer your questions.
Thanks,
I've had about 6 bamboos in the past, so
thanks,
Nice.
Pascal. We'll do. We'll do.
Okay, so we had a quick Q&A question. So this one is, what is the best product that appeals to the most people while also having a short print time, being decently simple, and low filament use / no supports? Basically, the 3D printer businessman's dream product. So that was from Brandon. Any suggestions there with Joseph?
I would say focus on personalized things. Focus on something that's personalized, niche, and something that very few people might have issues with, but you could probably price it at a very high. You could price it at a high point. For example, if you have let's say you have an old set of appliances and a plastic cover pops off, you're not going to really be able to find that piece anywhere else. And the best way to do it is just custom print it at that point.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, any other opinions there for like 3D printing products? Yeah, Moose?
I also, that same person that I just described with the video, you know, he tried to explain how to price his products, and he learned that one of his buddies was making a whole lot more money per product than he was, and he asked the guy, "Well, how do you price your stuff fairly? You know, I don't want to rip my customers off, but at the same time, I need to keep the lights on." And so his recommendation was to charge how much an hour a print might take. So if a print takes 6 hours, price it per hour rather than per item. So, you know, you look at your dragons might take 15, 20, 30 hours. Well, he says price them accordingly. You know, $6 an hour is not a lot of money for pricing whatever product you happen to be selling. So if the product takes 5 hours, that's a $30 product that, you know, might only take 25 cents worth of plastic. But
okay, yeah. Let me quickly jump in, Moose, because the call's about to end. So it's going to end in a minute. So So yeah, definitely is a good call. I'll do another Q&A next week, so we can definitely all join that. I want to quickly request you guys, if you don't mind, could you make a post in the school group, just kind of like reviewing the call, just saying that you enjoyed it, blah blah. And yeah, we'll definitely set one up next week, and we can continue from there. Sound good?
Sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah, had a great time. Nice to meet you guys. All right,
Thanks,
sweet
Mike.
man. Yeah, no problem. Thanks, guys. All right, take care, everyone. Cool.